Hi Year 11, welcome to your video on Assignment 13 Environmental Factors. Now I should stress the environmental factors stuff is kind of a big deal when it comes to getting the higher grades here. This is where you begin to link urine output and kidney function to the environment and situations that have led to a change in kidney function and urine volume and urine composition. And just so we're clear about a couple of definitions before we get into this, urine composition is what's in the urine. So the urea, the water, the salts, and how much of those things are there. Urine volume is how much urine in total you actually have. So like 1 liter, 2 liters, in weird situations, more than that. Anyway, before I get into the answers to the environmental factors, take a look at the little chart. Um, so you've got basically your color chart for what your wee says about you. And broadly, that's what it says. So we've got our from really clear and colorless all the way down to brown. And what you're seeing here is a gradual move from there being overhydration to severe dehydration. And the idea here being that the color tells you the nature of that dehydration as you go from clear and colorless to brown. So your big idea, as the color gets darker, there's an increase in the amount of dehydration, and usually that's accompanied by a decrease in the amount of urine output and an increase in the concentration of things like urea. Okay, and that's what results in that darkening color. A normal hydrated range would be that translucent yellow. Okay, that kind of like strawish color, slightly darkish strawish color. Anyway, that's enough about the color of wee. Let's talk about the environmental factors that are going to be having an impact on water volume and composition. So when I said that's enough about the volume of wee, that was not true. So firstly, first one there is exercise. So in a significant amount of exercise will cause the amount of sweat in the body to be increased, and that will result in a decrease in the amount of water in the blood. What will be the effect of that on urine volume? There will be a decrease in urine volume. You will not urinate as much. What will be the increase in urine color? It will become more concentrated. It will be darker. Why? Well, what you're going to end up with then is the loss of water because of the exercising through the sweat. That will result in less water in the blood. That will mean that there'll be a need to produce more ADH, which will mean that more water will be reabsorbed, and that will reduce the volume of water and result in it being more concentrated. Okay, second question. Okay, let's drink lots of water. Let's do that. Let's just smash out some water. And remember, in physical activity, people who are exercising heavily or involved in intense physical activity are most likely to overhydrate. The reason being it's harder to maintain an a stable internal environment during extreme physical exercise. Think about it this way: you're like running a race, and you're at like kilometer 11, and you get to the aid station, and you just smash in 4 loads of water. Right? And maybe it's only like a 13-kilometer race. Well, you know what? You're not going to sweat out 2 liters in what, 15 minutes? Not really. That's not that likely. So you may have overhydrated, and then there will be an implication as a result of that. But let's say you drink lots of water. What's the effect of drinking lots of water on the amount of water in the blood? Well, it's going to go up. Okay, what's going to be the effect on urine volume? Well, it's going to go up because you've got more water in the blood than you need. What's going to be the effect on urine color? Well, it's going to get lighter. Why? Well, you are going to be producing less ADH, therefore there'll be less reabsorption of water in the collecting ducts, and that will result in a larger volume of water being excreted and a comparatively lower concentration of things like urea. Okay, done. Hot temperatures. What's going to happen if it gets hot? Well, if it's hot, you're going to sweat. And if it sweats, that's going to reduce the water content in the blood. And what's that going to do to the effect on urine volume? It's going to go down. And what's going to happen to the concentration? It's going to go up because you're going to have more urea. So that's going to mean that the urine will be darker. And why is that going to happen? Well, very similar to what happened with exercising. The hot temperature means more sweat. The more sweat means more water loss. That means more ADH is going to be released, which will mean more water reabsorption at the kidney, specifically in the collecting duct. This will result in a lower water volume being produced, and it will be more concentrated in terms of urea and darker as a result of that. Okay, last one. Eat salty foods. Okay, let's say I know you're just mad about peanuts, and you're just like, oh, you've just got in the bluebirds and you're having a bit of salt and vinegar. What's the effect of eating salty food on the amount of water in the blood? Well, salty food is going to cause the amount of water in the blood to go down. Okay, it's beginning to, it's similar to dehydration. It creates this, it causes what the body cells to absorb more water in and around it, creates the sensation of being dehydrated. You'll notice if you eat a load of peanuts, you start craving a drink, okay, because your body perceives that it is dehydrated. So what will be the effect of that on urine volume? There will be less urine. It will be darker and more concentrated. It will trigger that ADH release, which will increase the amount of reabsorption at the collecting ducts. I keep saying that because it's kind of a thing. That will result in a lower volume of urine being produced, but that will be more concentrated in nature. There are 4 environmental factors listed there. Make a point of knowing those. Might be important. Anyway, all good.